Hey everybody, Chris Maton here, Real Estate Machine Show. I want to talk about something that's been on my mind for a few years. All of you, most of you, some of you new listeners know that I own and operate a machine shop, a machining business, and then I've also got a real estate business. That's in fact been my trade for 30 years. The machine shop graciously fell into my lap through marriage, and I have been graciously navigating the manufacturing waters for the last 14 years. And as a part of my own sanity, I've tried to maintain balance in both enterprises and, you know, bringing the two together in Cleveland, Ohio in a thoughtful way that not only, like I said, kind of keeps my sanity, but maybe brings value to not only the people that I work with inside of the shop and my, my manufacturing clients, but my real estate sphere and environment as well. So I have this thought, and I've had this thought for a while, and I hope that, maybe if I can create a compelling enough title to this video that I'm going to get some eyeballs on it and get some opinions and some thoughts and maybe some solutions to a concept that I want to bring to the machine shop business. And it's kind of modeled after the real estate business, the real estate brokerage business. And the question is what if machinists were independent contractors as opposed to employees? In the real estate brokerage model, in the real estate brokerage, universe, real estate agents, we're going to call them salespeople, real estate sales agents. They're licensed in their state, and they are to be sponsored by a managing broker or an office, so to speak, Remax, Keller Williams, EXP, whatever. But it's not an employee-employer relationship. It's an independent contractor relationship. I'm not going to get into the weeds on what that means, but suffice to say, it is not employee-employer. The real estate agent goes out and gets their own business. They market themselves, they get their own business, and at the same time, there might be company leads that come to them. So what if we did the same thing in manufacturing? What if we did the same thing in machine shops, where machinists, talented, skillful machinists, can be independent contractors, kind of run their own business, bring their own business to the shop, also while taking leads from the shop owner, from the shop. So they'll be making parts for the shop, and then they'll be making parts for themselves. Now, I know what you're saying. I know what you're thinking, what you want to say. Well, who's going to pay for the machines? Who's going to take care of the machines? How do you charge? What about insurance? All of those things, yes. And those are what makes this a little bit more complicated. But I think there's a way. I really think that there's a way. Because what you really want at the end of the day is people inside your four walls to care about being there. And if they can blend or hybrid that, those feelings on being, care about what they're working for themselves and care about what they're working for the company, I think everybody would have a better experience, including the customer at the end. But it's a matter of who's willing to take what risk. If let's say, for example, let's take my shop for an example. I'm going to be completely transparent here. We've got a building. We've got machines. We own everything. There's no debt here, right? So I can, in theory, hire out by the hour somebody to use the machine. At what rate? And is there some sort of insurance involved? Extra insurance? Is there some sort of waiver? What does that all look like? What happens if the operator or the machinist, this elite machinist, crashes the machine? It could happen. You'd never know. What if the machine gets an alarm while he's machining a part for somebody else and the machine is down? Who pays for that? Who pays for not only the repair, but who pays for the downtime? Is it just an element of risk that everybody takes? Those are the questions that need to kind of be answered. But the overall idea behind this and what's driving me is to drive the ambition of the machinist. And by giving the machinist ownership in some way, shape, or form, to me, that's the best way to drive ambition, to drive attitude, to really, get the cream of the crop inside of the building. And I just wonder if it's possible. Is it in fact possible? I have brought guys in here as subcontractors to run parts either for themselves or for me. And, sometimes it's it is. I mean, it's a risk. I mean, obviously these are people that I know. These people they're guys that I've known for a long time. I trust them. They know the machines. They kind of know the shop. They've either been here before, worked here before, or something. So there is a level of trust that's already built in. But the reality of it is that shit happens. And, nobody necessarily, maybe the shop owner's got a little deeper pockets than the machinist. But what if the machinist, messes up the machine? What if something happens? It's a slippery slope, if you will. But could you imagine if you just had this enterprise of machine availability, access to amazing talent, and collaborate the whole thing to not only build your business, but help build the businesses of others? That's kind of the idea behind this thing. And, I think that there's a way. I really think that there's a way. So I want everybody to, kind of digest this a little bit. This is for, this video is really for machine shop owners and machinists, right? I want you to consider the concept of independent contractors and subcontractors, and running your own one-man show as a machinist. Is there value to that? Can you make money? How many people start off in their garage with one machine? A lot of guys, and then they build from there. What if the building and the equipment were already taken care of for you? I mean, it's expensive to start up a shop. So what if the shop was already there? What if it was already in place? What if there's a way to route jobs so that everybody benefits? I don't know how to do it. I'm not sure I know how to do it. Help me out. Comment, put some comments below. Give some thoughts. Call me, email me, text me. Let's get into conversation and see how we can solve this problem and maybe come up with a new way to do things. Until then, everybody have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on the Real Estate Machine Show.